One of the things that I've been getting asked a lot about lately is what is happening or what am I seeing happen within our account base as the economy slows down in response to COVID-19? And so I took this IDC slide, I actually put a little bit of information on it. But really, what I wanted to talk about, what I think is going on, is if you sort of look at this green line here as a software budget as a percent of revenue. So most organizations, although not quite, they don't go if our revenue's $1 billion, we get 4%. But for the most part, software budgets are pretty consistent with a percentage of revenue, depending on the industry that you're in. There's studies out there that says that could be anywhere from 4 to 20%. 4% maybe in a manufacturer, 20% in somebody that's high tech or a software company. But it's pretty safe to say that if you're in a business that's revenues have decreased as part of the economic slowdown, your software budget's getting pressure as well, or your overall IT budget is actually. But if you sort of look at it in normal times, this black line here represents software maintenance. And so software maintenance is usually somewhere between 60 and 80% of the overall software budget. So that's your annual renewals, your ongoing commitments to multi-year contracts and things like that. So really what you have is between your software maintenance costs and your software budget is what could be used for innovation or your innovation budget when it comes to software. So as the economy is slowed down, obviously you're getting pressure to decrease your software budgets. But the unfortunate thing is your software maintenance contracts are usually things that are locked in, either multi-year or there were deals that were signed many years ago that, our maintenance on this is $2 million a year and we have an annual uplift of 10% or the cost of the consumer price index or something like that. So usually most of the times when budgets start to decrease, that software maintenance line basically stays flat. And so what ends up happening is if your revenues end up decreasing by, greater than 20%, typically you get into a point where all of your innovation budget is gone and you're basically in the spot where you have to start cutting elsewhere. So you're going to cut employees, you're going to cut other projects, maybe delay hardware purchases, maybe not bring in a third party to help you implement something. You're going to have to cut elsewhere. The other thing that happens is just your technical debt here just continues to grow because I can't innovate, I can't upgrade, I'm just stuck in these sort of areas where now my budget is upside down. And what you really want to do, we talk about flattening the curve with COVID. We really want to flatten the curve as well in terms of that that software budget. And so organizations that are doing this well, what we can see are actually using cost savings. So they're going after this software maintenance line and really pushing on their vendors to drive those costs down to sort of bring that line, if you take that dotted gray line as an example, to bring that line down as well. And they're doing this with data, right? So we've talked many times, or I talk a lot of the time about software asset management and the importance of data in there. They're using data to do this. The organizations that are being successful have their deployment data, have their usage data, are able to use that to develop strong negotiation strategies to go after these vendors and make these cuts. And so I'm going to leave it at that today, but I thought that this is an example of what's going on. And if you're interested in talking to us about, what we're seeing and the exact types of tactics that organizations are using in order to flatten this curve and stay out of the spot where technical debt continues to grow, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to set up a, half an hour call to talk through what we're seeing organizations do to address this situation.